Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Cabral House Call. I'm Stephen Cabral, board-certified naturopathic doctor, and today on our Weight Loss Wednesday, we're taking your questions right after going through, we just talked about water consumption and how some people always seem to be carrying around that water bottle with them all day long, and others, they just don't seem to drink enough. So how much water should you consume? When should you consume it, which is really important. That's the tip that I gave. And essentially, how much, how to gauge that, and then why you should keep it away from meals. All right, so if you didn't tune in, definitely check out that episode. Now, let's get into your questions. Some great questions today, all different, but all centered around weight loss. So let's get into this. Nadene is first up. She's asking, what's a good 20-minute fat loss cardio program? Okay, so I'm totally for this. You don't have an hour to work out. What can you do to make the most of your time? Now, let's just say you're like, oh, well, I'm going to do a 3 to 5 minute warm up and then a 5-minute cool down. I only have 10 minutes to work out. Well, that's true. So let's look at that. If we only have 20 minutes, and let's say that includes warm up and everything, this is what I would do. I would actually, for cardio, I would use an upright bike, or if you're outdoors, great, you can do sprints, the same thing. You could use an elliptical, whatever you feel comfortable. But let's just go with an upright bike for right now. What you're going to do is you're going to get on and you're just going to pedal, moving at about like 50% of your max, just kind of at a normal pace for about 3 minutes. Just get those legs warmed up. And then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you sprint on that bike all out for anywhere between 20 seconds and 60 seconds. And the reason I'm going to have you do that is because I don't know right now whether a 20-second sprint is your max, a 40-second sprint, or a 60-second sprint is all you have. But I want you to take it to the max, basically, okay? So keep in mind, my first sprint, I myself and other people, I tell them to do it at about 75%. I don't want you just to kind of burn yourself right out of the gates, pull a hamstring. That's not good. So let's just kind of go at like 75%. Now, what do you do after that 20 seconds? Well, you're going to double it, and that's going to be your rest period, okay? So if you're doing a 20-second sprint, you're going to do a 40-second rest period where you're just basically just moving your legs, just very, very lightly on that exercise bike. Now, if you're outside sprinting, you're on a treadmill, you're just walking at a very light pace, like 3.0, or maybe even less, all right? And then if you're doing 30 seconds, you're taking 60 seconds rest. If you're taking a minute sprint, you're taking 2 minutes to rest. Because again, this should be all out, and that recovery period really should be a 1 to 2 work-rest ratio. Okay, so if you look at that, and let's say that you're doing the 60-second sprints that you might work into. All right, with a rest period though, that's 2 minutes extra. So now you're at a 3-minute total interval. So let me just take a step back. 1 minute of work followed by 2 minutes of rest. That's 3 minutes per interval after your 3-minute warm-up. So you just have to divide that by 20 and say, how many can I do? Well, it looks like you could do about 6 intervals on a bike with a 3-minute warm-up, all right? So 3-minute warm-up, about 50%, then pump those legs for anywhere between 20 to 60 seconds, double your work-rest ratio, and then you will be at, if you do 6 for that, 6 times, the 3 is 18 minutes. You did your 3 minutes before, you're at 21 minutes, but here's the thing, for that last sprint, it only brings you up to that 18-minute mark or so because you have that 2 minutes of rest. So that's how I snuck that in there. All right. So again, you could do 10 of those if you wanted to, if you were doing 20-second or 30-second sprints because there's a less of a rest period. I think I went on way too long on that cardio program, but literally that could be your whole cardio program. So Nadene, let us know how that went for you. All right. Timothy C. is up next. Timothy C. asks, I heard chewing gum was good for fat loss or losing weight. Is that true? So I don't know how some of these things come about. And a lot of times because there's like a shred of truth to it, right? So it's just like I talked about in the last episode, drinking cold water will burn some calories, yes, but very few. I've seen anywhere from like 6 to 10 to 13 calories, maybe 20. I mean, just not enough to have a real effective difference. So chewing gum is around that same type of thing. If you chew gum, you're going to expend a little bit of energy, digestive juices are going to get churning, you could burn some more calories. So yes, you could do that. But again, these are things like a magazine would write, kind of like, did you know? And it's just marketing hype. Don't concentrate on things like that. Chewing gum is not good for your teeth, to be grinding your teeth that much. It's not good because of all the sugar or artificial sweeteners in gum in the first place. I mean, you might be able to get away with something like with xylitol, where there's been some research showing that it is actually beneficial to reducing cavities in your teeth. So there's that, but it's also still, it's not a fake sugar, but it's a sugar alcohol extract. Not my favorite for people because I work with FODMAP clients and a lot of clients with digestive issues. So again, it's like I give general recommendations, and so it's not what I would recommend, but sure, you could do that. And when should you do it? Really just after a meal. And the reason is that's when you want the digestive system to really turn on. You don't want to chew gum between meals because it will most likely make you hungrier and will tell your body that food's coming down when really no food's coming down into your stomach. You're just chewing gum. And it's like that false sense that food's supposed to be coming there. So I'm not a big advocate of that. So Timothy, throw out that advice. There is no need for it. Just stick to what we've spoken about before on previous Cabral concepts. All right, last question is by Yuri D. And Yuri is asking, why do I get headaches while doing a detox? All right, good question. And one that comes up quite a bit because when you're detoxifying, you're trying to get your body healthier. And you are literally ridding your body of toxins, which sometimes causes what's called a Herxheimer reaction. And that's your body's ability to try to keep up with toxins and remove them from your body. Very well studied, scientifically researched, and it happens. So what we do from my specific one is we don't do a water-based detox. We don't even do a green juice only based detox. We're actually giving your body the cofactors of what it needs to be able to detoxify properly. And so again, you could look at this on your own too. You could be using things like glutathione, N-acetylcysteine, selenium, vitamin C, glutamine, protein every single day, just not the carbohydrates, those specific things. And so you can make it work to give your liver, because we're really talking about liver detoxification. When you detox your body, you are essentially breaking down body fat as well. The body fat is allowing these toxins down into the bloodstream, which they have to. I mean, that's how you have to clean up your body. And then your liver is detoxifying everything and then removing it through your urine, your stool, or your sweat. So what are some other reasons, though? So, I mean, that's one of the reasons, but there are ways to mitigate that as well. The other reason is people get headaches I've seen from doing detoxes for quite a while with myself and with many, many people, is that you could get a low blood sugar level. And when you have a low blood sugar level, you could actually start to get a little bit of a headache. Now, that comes because we're trying to regulate blood sugar levels. And when you're trying to regulate blood sugar levels, it happens because your body's becoming erratic. It's eating these high processed carbohydrate meals. It's basically on sometimes carbohydrate overload, where what I mean by that specifically is that you're taking in so many carbs that it's elevating your blood sugar level. Insulin is being produced in mass quantities to try to bring that sugar level down and pull it into your cells. What happens is sometimes you can release too much insulin to try to lower those blood sugar levels. Insulin is left in the blood, and then it's lowering your blood sugar to too low of a level. So it's a little bit more complicated than that, but I think that's a pretty good description of it. And then when you get off of the carbohydrates, now your body's like, should the pancreas produce, more insulin? Should it produce less? It's trying to regulate itself, and that takes a couple days. And so what I would say is sometimes that's part of the process as well. But it always is, if you need a little bit of maybe some fruit, just a little bit to get you past that low blood sugar level, that's okay. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means that you're trying to get your body healthy, and maybe the next detox you don't suffer from that. A third reason, and probably the biggest reason of all, is that people typically give up caffeine, like black tea, energy drinks, soft drinks, and coffee cold turkey when they do a detox. And obviously, that's a great thing to do for your body. But when you give up caffeine, you can go through a totally separate detox process. Your body is literally used to having this caffeine in its system. It is a drug. And when it does not have this drug, you get a headache from it. That's the most common reason. And it's one of the reasons why on my detox specifically, the Dr. Cabral Detox, is that I am allowing people to do one small black coffee in the morning. And the reason why I'm allowing that is because I believe there's more benefits to doing the detox, even if you're having some caffeine, than not doing it at all. Now, would I love you to do none at all? Sure, absolutely. But I just know for so many people out there that this is already a big leap for them. So why am I going to make it so difficult, such a huge barrier to entry, that they can't even participate at all? So yes, your liver does have to detoxify and break down caffeine on its own, just like it has to do for pretty much anything. And yes, that will slow part of the detox process, but still, you get so much more benefit from doing the whole detox and then just adding in a little bit of that caffeine than you would from not doing it at all. So that is just something that I've kind of gotten to over a period of years in my practice is just because I'm trying to help more and more people. And I used to be that guy where it's like, it's all or nothing, you should do this. But I live in the real world and I understand the struggles that people are going through. And so if I can kind of walk them up that ladder, then I'm absolutely happy to do that. So Yuri, I hope this answered your question. And I do hope one of those 3 solutions basically does work for you. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning into the Cabral House Call. I'll be back real soon answering more of your questions. As a thank you for tuning in today, I wanted to share with you the number one system my private clients in Boston and now all over the United States are using to lose weight, decrease bloating, improve digestion, eliminate skin issues, and increase their energy all day long. It's called the Cabral Detox, and without going into all the details right now, simply go to drcabraldetox.com and you can find out how my proven, simple 7-day system can help you lose weight and feel great. There's no hype, there's no marketing, and best of all, it's guaranteed or your money back. And as a thank you for being a listener of the Cabral Concept, I'd like to offer you $10 off your next 7, 14, or 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox purchase in the month of March. Simply enter the savings code MARCH10, all in lowercase, one word, when checking out. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to hearing your success story soon.